Welcome to Overcoming Information Overload in Digital Marketing. Have you ever felt like digital marketing is just too much? One expert says Instagram is the key, another swears by blogging, and someone else is making six figures with YouTube. The advice is endless, and instead of moving forward, you feel stuck, wondering what the right move is. If that sounds like you, don't worry. Today, I'm going to show you how to cut through the noise and finally take action without feeling overwhelmed. Overwhelm isn't just about too much information, it's about not knowing where to start. Think about it. When you're bombarded with different strategies, conflicting advice, and pressure to do it all, it's easy to freeze. And what happens? You keep researching, watching videos, taking notes, but you don't actually do anything. That's called analysis paralysis, and it's the biggest killer of progress. Now, here's the truth. Successful digital marketers don't know everything. They don't master every platform, every strategy, or every tool before they start. Instead, they focus on learning as they go. The biggest myth stopping most beginners is this idea that you need to know it all up front. That is simply not true. The key is to focus on the right steps and not every step. So, how do you actually break free from information overload and start seeing real results? That's exactly what we're going to cover. First, we'll talk about why information overload happens and how to filter out what really matters. Then I'll show you a simple way to focus your efforts so you can start making progress today. Let's dive in. Have you ever opened your laptop ready to work on your digital marketing journey, only to spend hours watching videos, reading blogs, and taking notes without actually doing anything? You're not alone. Information overload is one of the biggest obstacles beginners face. And in this video, we're going to break down exactly why it happens so you can finally overcome it. So what's causing this overwhelming feeling? There are four main reasons. Number one, too much information, too many choices. Problem? Every day you see advice about different strategies, Instagram, YouTube, blogging, email marketing, SEO, and Facebook ads. So what happens? You feel pressure to do everything, which leads to inaction. In reality, you don't need to master every platform, you just need one strategy that works for you. As an example, imagine you're at a buffet with unlimited food. Instead of picking a meal and enjoying it, you keep filling your plate with everything, only to feel overwhelmed and not finish anything. That's what happens when you try to consume too much digital marketing advice at once. Conflicting advice from experts. The problem? One guru says short form video is the future. Another says long form content is the only way to build trust. And somebody else might say email marketing is king. What happens? You second guess yourself, constantly switching between strategies. In reality, every strategy can work, but only if you stick with it long enough. Example is like if you're trying to build muscle. If you keep switching between your workout routines every week, you're not going to see progress. The same applies to digital marketing. Consistency beats constant change. Number three, fear of missing out or FOMO, shiny object syndrome. The problem? You see success stories about people making thousands with a method you haven't tried yet. What happens? You jump from one thing to another hoping for faster results. And in reality, the secret to success isn't in just chasing trends. It's in mastering one thing at a time. So for example, if you plant 5 trees, but you keep moving them to different locations, none of them will grow. But if you nurture one tree in the right spot, it will eventually bear fruit. And your business works the same way. Number 4, perfectionism and a fear of failing. The problem? Many people believe they need to know everything before taking action. So what happens? You spend months learning but never actually doing anything. And in reality, the only way to truly learn is by taking action. Mistakes are a part of the process. As an example, think about learning to ride a bike. You didn't watch videos for 6 months before trying. You got on the bike, wobbled, and figured it out along the way. Digital marketing works the same way. So now that you understand why information overload happens, too many options, conflicting advice, FOMO, and perfectionism, the next question is, how do you overcome it? It all starts by letting go of the biggest myth that's holding most beginners back: the belief that you need to learn everything before you start. I get it. It feels safer to keep learning, planning, and preparing, but if you're serious about making progress and money, this is the mindset you have to break first. So, let's talk about it. What the myth sounds like. Let's talk about one of the biggest reasons people don't take action in digital marketing, and that's the belief that you need to know everything before you start. It sounds smart, right? You want to be prepared and do it right the first time, so you tell yourself things like, I'll start once I know the whole process. I just need to finish this course first. What if I pick the wrong platform? Or I'm not ready yet. Does this sound familiar? The reason this myth is so dangerous is because it feels productive, but it actually keeps you stuck. You stay in learning mode, you binge watch videos, you take notes, you research tools, but you're not actually doing anything. And what happens? You delay launching, you avoid showing up, you never test your ideas or offers, you confuse movement with progress. But real growth doesn't come from knowing everything, it comes from doing something consistently. Here's the truth. You don't need to know step 10 to take step 1. Most of the successful marketers you follow, they didn't start with full clarity. They started messy. They learned on the way up. You learn faster when you take action. You get real feedback from real people. You discover what works for you, not just what works in theory. So think about it. No course can teach you exactly what your voice sounds like or how your audience responds to your unique story. You only learn that by doing. So here's a better approach. It's called just-in-time learning. Instead of trying to learn everything just in case, only learn what you need to take the next step. If you're setting up a bio, only focus on how to write a good one. Making your first piece of content, don't worry about analytics. Building your email list, focus on creating a lead magnet, not mastering the huge amount of email automation tools. That's how you move forward without the overwhelm. One decision, one skill, and one win at a time. Let me ask you, did you read 3 books before you learned to ride a bike? No. You got on, you wobbled around, and eventually figured it out. Digital marketing is no different. You grow through reps, not research. So remember, you don't need to learn everything before starting. You need to start writing things out so you can learn everything that actually matters. Motion creates momentum. So now I'm going to show you exactly how to focus that momentum using a simple 3-step method I call the focus formula. It's going to help you stop guessing and finally start building one step at a time.